Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of Towing the Line with me, Anthony, your fucking fantastic host, your one and only host, co-host, everything, the lot, under the one roof. Me, the man. No, just playing. Well, technically no, but you know, I was just fucking around. It's been going on. It's been a long week. I'm trying to get this done and out on Sunday. Probably won't get out on Sunday. We'll probably release it Monday, but no, audio will be out today. Just finished my run, Sunday run day. Hit some trails. 24 Ks today. I lied. I didn't actually hit any trails. This is a spare battery. I'm playing with it just in case the GoPro runs out. Didn't hit any trails today. I actually ran on roads, but it was like roads parallel to trails, just because I couldn't find the shoes I've been running on the trails with. I've, been using the same pair to run on the trails with for ages, and they're dirty and they're like fucked up. But I couldn't find them today, so I was like, well, gonna have to stick to the roads. And it was hard, man. Oh, I got a sore back and all sorts of shit. Probably because my legs are trashed. What did I do yesterday? Yesterday was rough, man. I bombed hard. Before I get to that though, let's go. I'm going to go back to the start of the week. What did I do at the start of the week? I've been swimming a bit. I didn't do any strength this week, actually, come to think of it, except for Thursday and Friday. I was going to do it on Monday, I think, when I recorded the second half of last week's episode. And I just didn't get around to it. I was like, nah, I don't really feel like doing it. And then Tuesday I had a 3.5 hour ride, and I was like, I ain't doing shit after that. And then Wednesday I had a double training day. I think it was a run and a swim. And then Thursday was only a single day, and I was like, well, I'm going to do all my strength then. And then my legs were trashed. And then Friday I was like, upper body for days, mate. Sorry again, the blind is, I'm going to have to put part of the blind down. I'm still getting used to this whole recording visually and audio. And the brightness is annoying. So give me 2 seconds. Alright, I'm back. Hopefully I didn't fuck around. Yeah, that's way better, dude. It's the same. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, didn't get to do any strength till Thursday, Friday, which was unusual. Like for the past fucking ages, I've been doing 3 sessions a week, so that was weird. Got it done though. Quality sessions. I'm gonna have to start. So I spoke to my coach Nicola on Friday, and we're gonna start building. We're 14 weeks out from Geelong, the 70.3 in Geelong. So I'm gonna have to start building into that now. So that means that my strength stuff's probably going to take a little bit of a backseat, but I still want to try and get in 1, 2, if I can, 3 sessions a week, but it's probably going to be 1 or 2. So I just got to try and I'm just going to have to try and hit sub-maximal stuff to try and I'm just going to try and maintain my strength stuff, because I've built it up to a pretty good level at the moment, and I don't want to lose it. I got a bit of muscle, I'm feeling good. I don't want to lose it all, so I'm going to try and maintain it as good as I can while training for this half Ironman, so that I can roll straight back into it afterwards and happy days. But it was actually a quality session. I hit my squat, just hit squat and hinge, and then Friday I did my push. I'm fucking sore, man. Oh boy. And then what did I do? What else did I do? Friday I almost fucking died in the sauna. It was so rough. It was, usually I only do around 20 minutes. I'm like, 20 minutes is good. But Wednesday I did 25, and I was like, that was pretty good. Like that, it had stung. And then Friday I was like, fuck it. I got to 25, and then I was counting droplets. I was sitting there with my face down, and I was just counting the droplets off my pinky fingers. And I was like, I'm going to count until I get to 100. And I got to 100, and that happened to be like, 25 minutes and 30 seconds. And I was like, fuck, I may as well stay in for another 30 seconds to get to 26. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go for 30. Got to 30, and then like stood up to get out, and like the world started closing in. I was like, oh shit. So I had to sit down, for like 2 minutes to try and collect myself, so I didn't, completely black out. But it was good. It was good. It railed me for a bit, but pulled through as you do. Missed the sauna, but now it's back in action, which is good. Every time I swim, I'll jump in the sauna, because if you've swum in a public pool or any pool, you'll know you like stink like chlorine and your skin itches for like, until you hit a hard session. So for me, it usually hangs around until I get a good sweat on. So if I swim and that's the only exercise I'm doing for the day, that shit's sticking with me until I have a good sweat the next day. I don't like that at all. So I like to try and jump in the sauna afterwards and get the chlorine out of my skin. That's just how I do it. Cocoa Coast, again, classic. That's how I do it. I bought this kombucha in a can, Low Bros, and it's like a nice can. It's a big, decent sized can, $3.75, and fuck man, they go down real well. Passion fruit, and then there's a lemon lime and bitters one, and the lemon lime and bitters one I had this morning after I got back from my run, and fuck, it was good, man. So I'm gonna start drinking that shit. Like, fuck drinking Coca-Cola after you finish your workout. Smash either a Cocoa Coast or a kombucha. Happy days, son. Where were we? I was talking about almost blacking out in the sauna. It was so rough. Then what else did I do? I got bonnet struts for my car, which are things that help like hold the bonnet up when you lift it. Like, it was manually before, and I had the little stick, and I don't like the stick. So I put bonnet struts on, and it was fucking hot. Man, the weather's been really fucking good the last few days. So I was out in the sun, and I had to take my top off because I was cooking like a fucking burrito. Then that leads into yesterday. Yesterday's session was a 2.5 hour ride into a 14k run. Rode with Amy, which was nice. Hit some hills, cruised around. It was pretty good. And then, I came back the way I shouldn't have come back the way I came back, because it was like, it was pretty hilly, and it was just shit hills that you can't get a run into. You kind of just have to. You don't get any momentum, and you just have to hit the hill. It fucking sucks. But, got through it, did great, was on top of my nutrition, or so I thought. It was even on top of my hydration, or so I thought. Got all the way back, started my run, fucking felt fantastic. First 3Ks, I was like, man, I am like floating on these fucking shoes. This is the business. I was running in the next percent, not the Vaporfly, the what are they called? Nike Air Zoom Tempo, next percent, and I was absolutely fucking zinging. And then I don't know what happened. I think I went up a hill that was like 3.5 Ks in, and I was like, oh shit, what the fuck just happened? And it felt like I was gonna start. I felt like I was shaking. I didn't know what was going on, and I was like, I'm gonna die. Like, I started to think I was gonna fucking die. It was rough, and I still had 11 Ks to go, and I was like, I don't think I can do this. And then I was like, just get to, I had about 20 minutes left on a podcast that I started listening to while I was riding. And I was like, just get to the end of this podcast, and then you can take a break and see how you go. So I did that. I struggled for the next 20 minutes to get to the end of the podcast. And then I was like, I got to the end, and I was pretty close to like my checkpoint, as if you will. Like, I have certain checkpoints along my runs, and I was like along a road, and I was like, fuck, I'll just get to my checkpoint, which was like another K away, and I was like, then I can regroup and figure out how far I got to go, whatever. So I did that, got to the checkpoint, messaged Caitlin. I was like, hey, I'm fucking dying. So can you bring kombucha and a Cocoa Coast? I need sugar stat, or I'm gonna die. And then finished my run, had my sugar, and proceeded to feel good for about 30 minutes, and then I was fucked for the rest of the day. It was fucked. It got me so bad. I don't know what was going on. I had a nap in the afternoon, and I was just like a shell of myself. You would ask me things, and my processing time was like, it was like working on a computer from the 90s. You'd be like, hey, what do you want from, we went to Zenden. What do you want from Zenden? And I'd be like, what was that? Sorry, I was thinking about something else. Fuck. It was so bad. And then I was lying outside waiting for our order, and I was just fucking if you saw me, you'd be like, what is... You would think that I was, a bit special if you saw me. I was like rolling around on the floor. I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, I feel like I'm going to die. I couldn't sit still. Got me. So, welcome back, Brick Sessions. In saying that, though, I actually did really, I felt pretty good, considering I haven't done many of them at all for the past fucking 3 months. So, you know what? I felt pretty good. I remember when I first started doing 14Ks off the bike was fucked. I could never think of doing it. Whereas now it's like, it's not too bad. So that was good. And then, obviously into today, 23Ks, but I ran 24. It was meant to be on flats, but I was like, my 14-week block doesn't technically start until not next week, the week after. And I was like, you know what? I'm enjoying running trails and hills. I'm going to do it for maybe the next 1 to 2 weeks. And then I'll go back to running predominantly flat stuff as I build for Geelong. Because I just, why not? The hill strength is good. I felt it today when I was running up some hills. I'm spewing. I missed out on a fucking segment by like 30 seconds and I stopped because I didn't know which way to go. I got to the top of the hill and I was like, do I go left or do I go right? And I sat there and I looked at my phone and I was like, I'm gonna go left. And then I went right. And then then I got home and checked the segment and I was, second place by about 30 seconds, which was a fucking spew. So next time I'll have to beat it. I wasn't even running that hard, which was funny. I was just feeling good today. My legs were absolutely thrashed, but I was feeling good. So, you make the most of those moments. What else did we do this weekend? I've been to the movies twice, Friday night and last night. We went and saw Eternals Friday night, which is good. It's a good movie. I've heard mixed reviews about it, but I liked it. It was a good Marvel movie. It wasn't obviously wasn't on the same level as the fucking Avengers and stuff like that, but it was a good movie. Better than, I'm trying to think of, it was better than some of the fucking Thors. It was better than Thor Dark Worlds, that's for sure. And then went and saw Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings last night, which was better than the Eternals. Really good movie. Smashed popcorn endlessly both of the nights. So tonight I won't be eating popcorn. But it was nice to just chill. Hoyts is the best, man. They're so smart what they did there with the fucking recliner chairs. Fucking hell. Just kick back and chill. It's so good, man. I will never go to Village Cinemas again unless they do the same thing, which they probably won't, because they've got their gold class that they rely on. Man, Hoyts all the way. So that wraps up this week pretty well. I want to talk about, I will get into the vegan stuff, vegan environment shit, but not yet. I'll get into that a bit later. Just talk a bit of shit first, hey? But I'll try and keep it short and sweet. I don't want to fucking drag on like last time. I think it's funny. I think people reading the title, it actually not buried it, but not as many people listened, which I think it's a very controversial topic, isn't it? Veganism and the environment and stuff like that. And I noticed the clips that I put up referencing it on Instagram kind of got buried. Every time I shared it to my story would get buried, which is whack. It's censorship is a giant problem at the moment. But, you just got to keep fucking trudging, keep tracking. I don't even know what I was talking about there for a second. Anyway, what did I do this week? I fucking glued my fingers together. It was wild. It hurt so much. I was trying to fix. So I got some chain lube for my bike. And it has a little tiny hole that I don't have it near me. It has a little spout at the top. And I looked at it and I was like, I probably should move that. And I was like, nah, it'll be fine. And then I knocked it off and broke it. And I was like, ugh, I can't put the lid on without the little spout. So I was like, I can either put it in my, bike parts box and risk it just spilling everywhere, or I can try and fix it. So I was like, I'm going to glue it back together and it'll be fine. So I was doing that. I tried and failed multiple times. And then I was like, I'm going to try again, but this time I'm going to glue it. And then once it hardens, I'm going to glue it again. And then again and again to make sure it was extra fucking stuck. So the super glue I was using, it had hardened on top of its own spout dispense unit. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it. Short nozzle. That's the word. Nozzle. It had hardened on its own nozzle, and I was like, fuck, I'll pick it off. So I picked it off, and then as I picked it, my pointing finger and my thumb got stuck together. I was like, shit. And then I was like, I was still holding the glue as I was trying to unstick those, and I was just pouring more glue onto my other fingers. So my fingers were all stuck together. Like, I think there was 3 or 4 of them, and I was like, far out. So I went to try and pull them apart. It hurt so much. I've never thought glue would stick that solidly so quickly, but it did. So that lasted a couple of days until it just disappeared, which is weird, but fun facts. Just don't glue your fingers together. I did get methylated spirits and try and get it off. Didn't really do that much. It did a little bit. Like, my nail was glued to my finger. I was trying to get under my nail and I couldn't because it was glued to the top of my finger. So I managed to get that stuff off with the metho, but yeah, fun times. Such a good story, I feel like I was breathing really heavy. I finished that Jewel podcast. Jewel, Jewel. Jewel. I feel like I was pronouncing it so poorly on the last episode. You'd be like, Jaws, Jewel. But yeah, finish that. Please, I'm going to say it one last time. Just go and listen to it. You will not regret it. Like, just listen to it over the course of a fucking week. Just pause it, go back to it, keep going. Listen to it in chunks of like 30 minutes or so. It's so worth it, trust me. And if you don't like it, then, you can tell me and I'll do nothing about it, but just trust me, it's worth the listen. Like, I don't make recommendations unless I mean them. Like, I'm not going to tell you to do something unless I actually mean it. So please go and listen to it. What did I do this week? I've been toying, because if you listen to the podcast, you know that I'm a big fan of like stand-up comedy. I love it so much. And I was like, fuck, I think one day I'm going to have to go up and I'm going to have to try, like, do an open mic or something like that. I'm going to have to try it just to try it. And then it spurred on a memory of when I was younger in high school. No, not high school, in grade like 5 or 6. It might have been grade 4. We had a talent show at school, at primary school. And I was like, they were like, come up and do something that, you think is a talent. And I was like, cool, I'm going to go up. I can make people laugh. And I got up there and I don't know what I did, but I just remember bombing so hard. I remember sitting there like, oh my God, no one's laughing. And then I was like, go even harder. So I went so hard. I went so fucking hard into what I was doing. And no one laughed. And that was traumatic. So at least I've had the experience of bombing before. I know it's not that bad. Like, I know you don't die. So I'm keen to actually give that a shot. It'll be something I look at once everything opens up properly again. And once I get this fucking half Ironman out of the way, probably start putting some time into writing some jokes. You'll probably hear some of them on here. I've probably said some before that I would try and work into a bit. It's just my mind works weird sometimes. Like, they'll pop out of nowhere. Like the other day, I was waiting at the doctor's, and this fucking lady drove past in a car with her Bluetooth speaker on. And I just find it so funny when people are talking to someone on their Bluetooth, but their Bluetooth speaker is so loud that it's putting the sound outside the car. So you can hear like one side of the conversation. It's always like, oh, how are the kids, Lauren? And then you can't hear what the other lady's saying. She's like, oh, that's good. Oh, what about yourself? What are you doing these days? And then like you don't hear anything. And then it's like, oh, it's just one side of the conversation. I just find it hilarious how like you just don't think people are listening. Like, imagine if you were talking to your mate and you were saying some pretty like full on shit and you were just thinking that they were in their car by themselves. But little did you know they're driving down a busy ass street projecting your conversation to like everyone that's walking around. You're like, yeah, man, I got real bad hemorrhoids, like real bad. I don't know what to do. I just keep shitting every time. I keep bleeding every time I shit. Sorry, that was probably like a bit much for you guys. I always go dark with that kind of, not dark, I always go like full on with that kind of stuff. Apologies. Moving on to the next topic. But yeah, I think I would love to give stand-up a shot. I would use my, I reckon I'd use my kangaroos becoming intelligent and taking over the planet. Bit, I would use bugs speaking at a higher frequency than humans. Bit, because I reckon that's funny. Or I would work that into a bit. My theory that bugs speak in a super high frequency and we can't understand that frequency. So like if we see a spider, the spider's like, yo man, but at really high pitch. It's like, yo man, what the fuck are you doing? And we're like, what is this thing doing? Get out of the way, mate. And the spider's like, dude, you don't understand. All right, I'm trying to move, but I've got to look after my family. And then, anyway, moving on. All right. I'm going to try. All right, we're 20 minutes in. I don't know how to mark this. I should have fucking looked this up before. I want to try and earmark points in the recording so that I can come back to it later. I could just write down the fucking timestamp, hey? Maybe I'll do that. Sorry for wasting your fucking time by not being prepared. But you know what? That's the whole point of this podcast. Oh, that's another thing. Ice baths are back. I've had 4 or 5. I was going to have one this morning, but I just didn't want to, But they're back. The first one was fucking horrible, man. Holy shit. The first 90 seconds, I actually videoed it and started editing it, and I was going to upload a video, and I was like, I can't be, I got so close to finishing it, and I was like, yeah, next time. But, yeah, the first one was fucked up. My feet were so sore. My feet cop it. Feet and fingers cop it the most, so I don't put my fingers in. Fuck, man, it was rough. The first 90 seconds to 2 minutes was horrid. Then after that, it became I remember the ice bath being you get in, it sucks for a little bit, and then you're fine. But they've been getting better, slowly. So I had one yesterday, and it was 30 seconds was shit, and then it was fine after that. So going from, nearly 2 minutes to 30 seconds is a wonderful improvement. I want to try and either do an ice bath or a sauna every single day. So I'm going to sauna every time I swim, and I'm going to ice bath if I'm home. I like to do it straight after an activity. I really should have done it today. I'm probably regretting it now, because then I could have told you guys that I had an ice bath and it was so cool outside in the fucking rain. Damn, I should have fucking done one. Maybe I'll do one later. Anyway, ice baths are fucking back, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Write this down, and then I can go into 22:30, 22:40. There we go. All right. So moving on to the tofu of the fucking podcast today. I'm gonna start with the climate change, because I feel like that's an element of. It's an indirect element of the plant-based diet and veganism. I feel like I covered off how I became vegan last week. I feel like if I think of anything else, I'll drop it in. But I feel like I covered off that pretty well last week, what led me to actually becoming fully vegan. Now, this week, I'm going to talk about climate change and just some little facts. I'm not going to go too deep. I'm not a fucking scientist. I don't research this shit for a job. It's not my thing. But I'll just throw in some little facts, little bits of information I've picked up along the way. Things that I go to. Why do I have pen on my finger? Things that I've kind of gone to, and things that will hold me in this lifestyle forever, because it's it's true. There's no denying it. But first, we're going to talk about climate change, because of the the global fucking climate change meeting or whatever that we recently had. But yeah, there was this video that I watched, and I was like, this has good information. I'm going to fucking take this information and share it with you guys. So Australia is doing fuck all in the way of emissions and the environment and preventing global warming. Yes, they've said 2050 is, net zero carbon emissions, but 2050 is so far away that we're not going to pay attention to what's happening now, are we? We're only going to worry about it when we get to 2040. We're going to be hey, what are we doing in relation to climate change? And by then, most of the people that are involved in doing this shit now are going to be fucking dead or old as shit. No one's going to worry about them. You know what I mean? So it's going to be, they're going to be, they're going to have lived their fucking life, made their money, and be chilling. And then it's going to be everyone else's problem, which is a fucking dick move, real dick move. So they're just going to fuck the world up now, and then go and just disappear into the sunset. And then we're going to be left with the fucking bullshit to clean up. But anyway, what I was going to say is, so this is how bad Australia is, right? The Australian government is. The people aren't that bad, but the government's fucked. So the government's sitting there saying, yeah, net carbon zero 2050, fuck yeah, whoop whoop. Meanwhile, the Australian Environment Minister literally just opened 3 coal mines in a month. If we were going to be carbon net zero, wouldn't you want to try and not open coal mines and try and find other ways to generate electricity? Like, there was something that I read that we're not even entertaining the idea of nuclear power, which is fucking ridiculous because it is the most efficient way, the most efficient and like no emissions, none, little bit of waste that can be contained easily, no emissions, none. Nuclear energy is the fucking way. Even if you're worried about the nuclear waste, it's better than fucking carbon waste. Like, it is the next step. And then if you want to go completely renewable energy, great. But we need something in the interim to fuck off carbon emissions and the coal industry. Like, that's so fucking wrong. So yeah, opening fucking 3 coal mines while saying, yep, net zero 2050 is so stupid, fucking dumb. They should be, bringing in policies and stuff. Meanwhile, mind you, there are no policies that came with that. Nothing, no changes, nothing. We'll get there if we keep doing what we're doing. Fucking stupid. So she opened, it was a woman, she opened 3 coal mines while appealing a court ruling that was saying that she has a duty of care to the children of Australia over climate change, which she does, because if she's the environmental minister, she does have a duty of care for our futures. But she's appealing that, saying, no, I don't have a duty of care, because what the fuck are you doing in that position? How are you the environmental minister? Stupid. That's how. And then the emission reduction minister is supporting new gas projects that will contribute over 320 megatons of CO2 annually. Now, to put that in perspective, that is an average household produces 7.5 tons, not megatons, tons annually. So the 320 megatons is the equivalent to 46 more coal plants. China is planning to build 43 more. So that new projects contributing 320 megatons of CO2 annually is going to be the equivalent to 46 more coal plants. Meanwhile, China is planning to build 43 more. So we're going to contribute more in the next year with the new gas projects than China's planning to build. China's fucking massive. How does that not, that to me, it just seems ridiculous that us in Australia are going to contribute more than China when they're fucking, infinitely times the size. Silly. Yeah. What else did I write? I just said that 2050, the 2050 target is just a distraction for the next decade or so, to help get the people that are in power now, get them set up, and then they'll fuck off, and it's not their problem anymore. Mind you, we're not the only country doing it. There are a lot of countries that are actually doing the same thing. Net zero 2050, and then they're doing all this shit in the background, supporting, the bad stuff, like the Australian government is doing. Subsidise solar power, subsidise electric cars, but we're also going to endorse coal plants because they make us money. Yeah, it's just fucking full on, man. It's disappointing. You would think Australia has such potential to be the leader and the pioneer of this kind of stuff, but we're not. We're just not, because we're led by a bunch of money-hungry fuckwits. Money and power-hungry fuckwits. This podcast is probably going to get buried because I've said shit like that. But anyway, what was my next? So look at Switzerland, man. I watched an episode of Zac Efron on Netflix goes around to a bunch of different places and checks stuff out. And he went to Switzerland, and just the way they do things, so much further ahead of everyone, like renewable energy wise, everything wise, water, electricity, the whole lot, recycling, so much more advanced than everyone. So we should take a fucking page out of their book. And because we have such good potential and we have such beautiful land here, and we're going to fucking waste it, man. Sucks, bro. Sucks. Anyway, that's it for the climate change rant. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want my I want to enjoy my podcast. I don't want it to become something that, I use to fucking rant about environmental issues, because I feel like that turns a lot of people off, which is a shame. I think it only turns people off because they know that, like, that was me before I went vegan or vegetarian. Like, when people would talk about animal like agriculture and all that kind of stuff, I'd be like, yeah, me. I'd like become all fucking bravado and all, oh yeah, whatever, man, I don't give a fuck, I don't care, fuck, meh. Which is just a coping mechanism, because I was like, they're right, fuck. But I don't want to hate myself, so I'm going to hate you instead. So I feel like the only reason people get annoyed with this kind of shit is because they know it's right, which sucks. But that'll bring me to my next thing. So I'm going to end this whole vegan thing with a positive note. Like, I got this, I'm not going to end it now, but this book here, not book, subscription, Nourish magazine, and in this one they have 8 tips going vegetarian or vegan and loving it. I'll read them to you at the end. That's fantastic. They're fantastic tips. I read them before and I was like, yep, cool, these all make sense. So I'll end this segment on that, to give you guys tips on how to actually do it if you want to do it. Like I said, I'm not going to fucking shoot you down in flames by not doing it, but I am going to give my opinion, because this is my podcast. So, like I said before, I'm not going to pretend I'm a scientist. I haven't studied this shit. I'm just these are some simple facts that I've picked up along the way, and things that I look at and think, okay, cool. This reassures me that I'm on the right path with my choices. First off and foremost is factory farming. Obviously, it wasn't the reason I went vegan. I didn't go vegan because of factory farming. I didn't go vegetarian because of factory farming. But after becoming more and more aware of it and opening my eyes up to it and allowing myself to feel the effects of it, it is the main reason, because it's fucking disgusting. It is absolutely atrocious. And like, if I was still eating meat and stuff like that, I would be ashamed for supporting it, because it's fucking disgusting. It is horrible. And like, it guts me, man. It guts me that people are supporting that shit. It's not fair at all. It's not fair on anything. It just fucking sucks. And if hearing me say that makes you mad, then you know I'm right. Because that's why you're annoyed. Because you're like, deep down you're like, this motherfucker's right, but fuck you, I don't want to change. That means you know I'm right and you don't want to do anything about it, which is where I was. That's where I was. So like, you can change. But I'm not going to shoot you down because you don't. It's just, you'll have to feel that. You'll have to feel that. And as long as you're still living the way you're living. Whereas I don't have to feel that anymore. I know, like, I can be compassionate about animals and not feel guilty because of the choices I've made. And I'm proud of that. Like, I'm proud to be vegan. And like, people say fucking smart ass shit all the time, but I don't fucking care. Because that's my choice. And me, morally, I'm like, I can live with myself because I've made that choice. So yeah, that's the main fucking reason that I've gone vegan now. What was next? So the next one is heart disease is far less common in those who have a plant-based diet. And the main reason of this is because cholesterol generally causes heart disease. And like, I remember watching something and I was like, it was freaking me out. I think it was early days before I went completely vegan, and it was like showing you, I think it was like, what's Rip Esselstyn's documentary? Like, there's like a heart disease one he has on Netflix or something. Anyway, It was he was describing your arteries. If you have a meat-based diet or animal-based diet, and your arteries just get slowly and slowly more clogged with cholesterol and the fatty acid, the fat around the artery, and your blood finds it harder and harder to get through. And that's why so many people have to have like coronary surgery and stuff like that to open up their heart blood vessels to allow blood to flow through again, because they have so much cholesterol that it clogs up, and your heart struggles to pump blood through because it's so fucking clogged up. And when I heard that, I was freaking out. I was like, I don't want that. I don't want my fucking bloodstreams clogged up with shit like cholesterol. Fuck no. And so it is far less common in a vegan diet or a plant-based diet because plants have literally zero cholesterol in them. Zero. None. Nothing. None at all. So if you want to, like, there's so many studies and so many like examples that show people with having heart problems and heart disease go to a plant-based diet, no more problems. Gone. Reverse it. They literally reverse it because of the plant-based diet, which is fucking awesome. But yeah, that freaked me out when I heard the clogging up of the arteries and blood vessels and shit like that. Not about it. Don't like that shit. Like, I think my body is like a performance vehicle. I don't want to be clogging that shit up. So that's one of the main reasons. And then, like, think about it like this, right? What kind of butter is labeled cholesterol lowering? They don't have any animal product butter that is cholesterol lowering. It's all plant-based butter, because plant-based butter doesn't have cholesterol in it. So there you go. Fun facts. The next one is the fact that animal agriculture is fucking destroying our planet. Like, we take down huge natural habitats like forests and stuff to use to grow and farm animals, to grow crops to feed the livestock and to farm the animals. And it's bad because it's called a monocrop agriculture, where we usually grow, one crop to feed the animals. And you literally just suck the earth fucking dry because you aren't changing it up. You're not having biodiversity. Like, you use one crop and that crop's just going to suck everything out of that. Whereas regenerative agriculture is about, like, you'll use one field and then you'll use another field the next season, and you'll kind of like push the plant matter back into the earth and give that a chance to, absorb nutrients and the actual earth to stay nutrient dense. Whereas if you just keep harvesting the fuck out of it until you can't get anything out, it just becomes dry. Like, the picture they use to depict a drought, dry, cracked ground? That's what happens when you suck all the fucking nutrients out of dirt. It just becomes So the difference between soil and dirt is, once you suck all the fucking nutrients out of it, it becomes dirt and it's useless. That's what happens when we just use monocrop agriculture to feed our animals and stuff like that. We we fucking tear down a forest, use all the nutrients in the dirt, and then we're like, fuck, we leave this wasteland and we move to the next forest. That's not a solution. It's not something that can be sustained. We're going to just shit on our entire planet for the most inefficient way to feed ourselves, which is frustrating. Like I said last week, the amount of calories that go into the cattle versus, like, cattle, for example, the amount of calories that go into them versus the calories we get out of them is inefficient and dumb. So, yeah. The next thing is, obviously, I know that there's an argument there that a lot of plant-based stuff like soy is monocrop agriculture. And yes, that is correct. It is. But that's not like we're, advocating for it. We're pushing for, like, I know I am pushing for, like, the petitions I sign, the things I do. I'm pushing for a regenerative farming because that's the way of the future. That's the way to go. That's the way they did it for years. Like, you look at, I've read so many things about, native people planting certain things with other things because they complement each other. One plant might need nitrogen-rich soil, and the other plant produces nitrogen-rich soil. So they plant it together and they flourish. That's the kind of shit we need to be doing. We need to be doing that. And I know there are people out there who, it's in America somewhere. They're actually doing regenerative farming, agriculture, and they're fucking killing it at the moment. And I think they're creating like a roadmap for other farmers to be able to do the same thing. And that's a positive. That's wonderful. But we can't be doing that shit and having factory farming with animals. It just doesn't work because Like, because it's just fucked up, man. It's fucked up. And then, like, another horrible fact from it is the waste pits. Like, I don't know if you've seen Dominion, you'll know I think they used, it was from a pig slaughterhouse. The waste pits out the back where, like, all the disgusting, like, all the dead pigs would get thrown. Their shit, their piss, their fucking blood, everything gets thrown into this dam, and it's just this fucking swamp of disgusting that smells putrid. And they reckon, like, if the wind picks up, you can smell that shit for fucking miles. It just gets blown around everyone, like, blown everywhere around that area. That's fucking disgusting, man. Can you imagine how many diseases are born in that shit? Like, it wouldn't surprise me if that's where swine flu came from. A pit like that fucking wipes out half the population. Like, that's where the next plague's coming from. A fucking death pit like that. It's fucking disgusting, man. Absolutely trash. Yeah. So they're my reasons, or the little facts that I've pulled out, and the little facts I put in my little duffel bag along the way as to why I am vegan and why I'm going to stay that way. To sum it up, I will give you to sum it up and give you a brief wrap up of it. The reason that I am staying vegan is factory farming is fucking disgusting. Heart disease is far less common in people who adopt a plant-based diet. I don't want to clog my arteries up, so I'm not going to eat any animal products. And animal agriculture is destroying the planet, because I want this planet to survive. I mean, part of me wants it to survive, and part of me wants part of me wants us to get what we deserve. Like, we walk around here thinking we fucking own the place and think our shit don't stink, when, mate, if we don't tread lightly, we'll just get eaten up. We'll get consumed by the earth, and the earth will live on, and we won't. Which I think part of me thinks that we deserve that to learn. But fingers crossed we actually pull out of it and survive. All right, so I'm going to move into my 8 tips. These magazines, subscribe. They're like, no, you don't need to subscribe. You get it from Coles for like $12. They got some seriously good recipes in here, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro. Dude, it's crazy. All right. Enjoy the sound of me flipping pages while I find where I'm at. Here we go. 8 tips for going veg and loving it. Here we go. So, first tip, number 1, is suss out the alternatives. And like, if this is obviously before going vegan or vegetarian, suss out what alternatives you have. Suss out what you can replace things with. So suss out, like, for example, a great way to replace tuna. If you love your fucking tuna salad or tuna on rice cakes and shit like that, replace it with mashed up chickpeas, some lemon juice and some salt. Or if you liked chili tuna, make chili chickpeas. If you liked lemon and pepper tuna, make lemon and pepper chickpea. It's delicious. You just mash it up. It's so good. You have a fucking sandwich. It is fucking wonderful. It's a great alternative. You want mock meats. You want to replace like a burger. There's mock meats now. Although you got to tread lightly with them. You don't want to be going too ham on those, because they do contain a lot of shit. Like, my advice would be stick to the most, like, I do eat that stuff. Don't get me wrong, because it's delicious, and it's grown on me. But I try and limit it to the weekends, or like not have it as often. I try to stick to just tofu, seitan, and tempeh when I can, because I know what they are and I know what they're made of. And like beans and legumes, obviously. But, doesn't mean they're a bad thing, just in moderation, So yes, tip number 1, suss out the alternatives. Tip 2, make a list of your go-to meals. Now, I spoke about this being one of my struggles early on, was just to find go-to meals. And so, plan them out before you go. Before you make that leap to go plant-based, plan out your go-to meals. Find them, test them, tune them, and then have them there ready to go, so that if you ever think, fuck, I don't know what to make, have a go-to meal. A great one for me is falafels. Falafel wraps. Or a dal, like a red lentil dal. Amazing, with like a pita bread. The best. So delicious, so easy to make. Have some go-tos. Even pasta. Something super easy, super simple to make, delicious, something that you'll enjoy. And that way you don't have to stress. Like if you're ever under the pump, you can make something, and you'll have these, 3 or 4 go-to favorites you can always make. Seek out new and easy recipes. I love this one. Caitlin and I do this nearly every weekend. We'll always look for different, like if we think, oh fuck, I used to love eating that. And it's like, well, let's see if we can eat it, but vegan. So then we'll, do a bit of a deep dive, find ingredients to replace it. We'll either find a new recipe that is completely vegan, or we'll find a non-vegan recipe and just substitute things in and see how that goes. I'm more of a main dish guru, if you will, whereas Caitlin's more of a dessert queen. Like she'll crush the cookies and all that kind of stuff. She made some really good caramel slice a couple of weeks back. It was fucking delicious. Like it was deadly delicious. You couldn't leave it there for too long because it would just disappear. It would just be gone because it was so yum. So yeah, we love doing that. I love seeking out new recipes, and in this magazine they've always got new recipes. So win-win. Tracking nutrition. Now this is something I haven't done ever, as in while being vegan, but it couldn't hurt. It couldn't hurt to track, particularly if you're a female with iron levels. I know it's tough to get iron in on a vegan diet, and as females lose a lot more iron due to their time of the month, it might be wise to try and track that, or take an iron supplement to make sure that you are topped up. But yeah, tracking your nutrition is a good thing. I would have avoided, my first 2 weeks, I bombed out hard because I wasn't eating enough. If I had been tracking my nutrition, then I would have been probably fine, but I wasn't doing that. And I feel like that's a lot of people's downfall with their vegetarian or vegan diet, is they don't eat enough, and then they think, fuck this diet is not for me. When in reality is you just went about it wrong. Whereas if you had tracked your nutrition, you'd be fucking sweet. It says, number 5, be prepared to eat well. Now, this is so good because you underestimate how many options there are. This is what I'm assuming this means. Yeah. If you organise, type this, put your skills, good use for some meal planning, weekly shop, food prep, you might, yeah, sweet. You get to eat well. You don't underestimate how many options there are. Like an example that I heard on a podcast once, and it hasn't left my head, is think about how many meats there are that you can eat by the shops easily. Chicken, beef, pork, turkey, and kangaroo, right? Or duck, whatever. How many vegetables are there? Think how many vegetables, how many variations of vegetables there are. Fucking infinite, bro. Infinite. They don't end. You can eat so many options, so many different things. The thing that holds us back is our fucking imagination and our vision of what we think we can eat and what we think we can only prepare. That's what's holding us back. It's not that there's a lack of option. It's because we've been brought up on, a meat and free veg diet. So it's like, this is all we got. This is the only choice. You only got fucking peas, potatoes, corn, and pork. That's it. Or you can have beef, or you can have chicken. There are only options. When it's so false. There are so many fucking options out there. It is insane. You can make, I make pasta sauce. I make just plain tomato pasta sauce. I make it with lentils. I make it with fucking tofu. Make it with TVP, textured vegetable protein. You fucking just use oil. Although I don't like a lot of oil, but you just use fucking oil and garlic. Delicious. There are so many options, man. Just open up those eyes and that mind. And that's one thing that I've found being vegan is I've discovered so many more options. Because, I'm like, cool, what can I do now? I've been forced to think about how to get creative with meals, and now endless. It's a passion of mine now. I love cooking. I found that again. Number 6, make some veggie friends. Now, this is so true. You do I don't know, you meet people, you just meet people by being vegan or vegetarian. I feel like it'd be the same with any diet the same as exercise. You meet people while exercising and doing things that you enjoy. And, same thing with your food choices. You do meet people who are like-minded, and they can tell you, they can hit you up with fucking recipes. They might share things. And, that's the best way to broaden your vocabulary. Just open your eyes to new things, new things open your eyes to like new opportunities and new ways to do things. Fantastic way to go about it. Remember why you want to go veg. Now, for me, this has changed, but now you just heard my list of things. That's why I'm vegan, and that's why I'm not changing. But remember that. Keep that in the back of your mind. If it's factory farming and you don't like animal cruelty, fucking put that right up front and be like, no, I'm doing this for a cause. I'm not doing this. Oh man, my SIM card's full. Bear with me for 2 seconds. I need to change it out. Back. Apologies there. My SD card ran out. I thought my battery on my GoPro was going to run out before my SD card. My SD card filled up. Where were we? We were talking about, just keep or reason at the front of your mind, because that'll motivate you. Same as anything. Keep your motivation at the front of your mind, because that'll keep you going when you get hard, when you get cravings. Come to think of it though, I have not in the 2 years that I've gone vegan, and the fucking 5 years, I don't even know, 3 years before that when I was vegetarian, I've not craved meat once. I don't miss it at all. So fucking happy days. And then the last one, number 8, is be proud of your changes. Fuck yeah, I'm proud of my changes. The reasons I'm sticking to it is like, no, I'm proud of that. I don't have to feel guilty for this shit. Some people try and make you feel guilty, but it's only because they feel guilty on the inside. It's the same reason, as I said, like if you get mad when I point out the fact that I'd be ashamed of myself if I was supporting factory farming, then that's because you feel guilty on the inside. A part of you feels guilty and you're just ignoring it. That's not my problem. That's your problem. I've fucking dealt with that. I've faced that demon and I've moved on. Like I've cut that part out of my life. I ain't feeling guilty for that shit anymore because I don't do it. You should do the same. It'd be worth it. You would feel fucking fantastic. No one can say anything to you. No one can say anything negative to you. You just, fucking living on top of the world. Living on top of the fucking world, man. They did have another cool segment in this. What was it called? 6 secrets for living longer and better. I don't know. I feel like that shit's kind of boring, hey? They've got some fucking good recipes. There was one in here that was delicious. They've got some cocktail recipes, burger recipes. This, trust me, fucking hell. All right. Hopefully the whole thing gets on the screen, but screenshot this if you're watching on YouTube. I'll move it closer and up and down. It's a shaved Brussels sprouts and chickpea salad with chipotle mayo. Dude, fucking amazing. If you want chipotle mayo, this recipe is fantastic. 150 grams of silken tofu or lightly firm. I used lightly firm tofu. Don't know if I used 150 grams or not, but I just eyeballed it. I bought a 900 gram pack and I was like, it had 6 blocks in it, and I was like, no, it had 10 blocks, and I was like, cool, 90 grams a block, and I just went off that and put in extra. So I think I did about 250 grams. Lime, zest and juice. Olive oil, 2 tablespoons. So 1 lime with the zest and the juice. Olive oil, I probably could have put 2 because I used a bit more tofu. And then it's got 1 tablespoon of chipotle spice, 1 teaspoon of chipotle spice, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, and half a teaspoon of salt. Fucking delicious. In a blender, whip it up. With the Brussels sprouts too, amazing. I'm going to be making that shit again. We had it in wraps. But the flatbread from Coles is fucking amazing, dude. Go get it. Seriously. Made at the bakery. Fantastic. Fan-fucking-tastic. We had it with that. It was so good. And so healthy too. I'm not going to read you all the recipes because that will be boring. But seriously, $12 or $13, a great magazine. I've probably got 4 or 5 copies there. It's wonderful. You can get so many cool recipe books. And it's a good way to expand your experience with cooking too. Like there are so many different things in there that I would never thought to do that I've done now. And now I know how to make things for myself. You just learn. The more you cook, the more you learn, and the more you realize you can actually piece things together yourself. You don't need a recipe to follow. I know how the consistency. The other day I made this fucking amazing banana bread by just following the basic protocol. I was like, cool, baking, I'll use self-raising flour instead of using baking powder. banana, obviously, and then I was like, just add in some chocolate as well, some maple syrup, vanilla extract, whip that shit up till it looks, reasonably thick-ish, put it in the oven until it's done. That's it. Easy. So you pick things up, you pick skills, like how to make a curry and whatnot. It's awesome. So I obviously love cooking, but yeah, anyway, each to their own. Now I have a surprise. It's not a surprise, but I bought some fucking cool stickers and I'm going to stick on my car. How good's this one? It's Goku with sunnies on. The best. This one's awesome too. This one's pretty cool. Sorry if you're listening. This one's awesome. Vegeta. Saiyan Pride. And then another Vegeta one. I don't know where to put them, but I'm going to put them onto my car somewhere. And then I bought a fucking sun protector for the windshield that I'm going to fucking chuck in there too. It's also Dragon Ball. So my car's going to be like the Dragon Ball wagon, cruising around. If you see it, that's me. Yeah. So that's it for that kind of stuff. What? 55 minutes. I've been trying to write things down because I'm trying to put in the show notes where things start, where they finish. I don't want to, I want to make it easy for people to navigate through. I know some people are going to want to skip the vegan shit, the vegan, vegetarian shit, the environment stuff. You can't stop them. But if I can make it easier for them, then, you might retain a listener. I just want to, the way I do it, the way I go about it is I'm not a pushy person. I'm not I don't make you feel bad. I don't want to make you feel bad for your choices. But if I can educate you and kind of help you, help you make that choice easier, if you're going to make that choice, then that's what I'm here for. I'm not your fucking enemy. I don't want to spite you. I don't want to make you feel bad. I just want to help nudge you in the right direction. There was a cool fact the other day that I got told by a friend, because we were talking about jealousy, and I was like, I'm jealous of people, but I feel like there's a good jealous. And she informed me that in German there are two words for jealous. One of them is envious, and the other is what's it when you look up to someone? Admirable. You admire to be that person. And I was like, that makes so much sense, because I feel like I'm jealous of people, but I'm jealous of people in the way fuck, I can't wait till I get to that point. I can't wait till I get to achieve that. I can't wait till I get to do that and feel what that feels like. I'm not a jealous person in the way nah, fuck that. I hope that person doesn't succeed. I hope they fail. That's not a good way to be. I don't like that. That makes you feel shit. Whereas I look at people, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm jealous, but good jealous. So if you're jealous of someone, but you're jealous in a way I can't wait to be at that level, or good on them, I wish I was at that level, or, at that point, that's good. It's not a bad thing. There's good and bad jealousy. So if you're feeling jealous in that way, that's a good thing. So don't stress, don't sweat it. And I was like, I didn't know that until I found that out, and I was like, cool, I'm not feeling guilty for being jealous anymore, because it's a good thing. So fuck yeah, here's to jealousy. What do I got this week? Yeah, as I said, training's ramping up, so gonna be pedaling back on the strength stuff and pedaling up on the bike, the trainer. I don't want to get back on the trainer. I haven't been doing many trainer sets lately because I haven't been working, so I've had some time to actually ride outside, and it's been really nice. The trainer's just rough, man. It's just rough. Yeah. Oh boy, you sit there and you just suffer for an hour, and then you get off and you can't feel your legs. It's a great way to stay in shape. I'm gonna have one more sip of this Coca Coast because it's empty. I just spilled it all over my hand. Genius. Yeah. There was something else I was gonna fucking mention. Album. Why do I have so many pictures of myself? Oh, they're all from. This is okay, cool. Sorry. There was I saw. I should post it on my social media. Yesterday when I was bombing hard, I just started thinking. I was like, cool. Someone once told me, they were like, when you're suffering and you're doing something, just be grateful that you get to suffer because you've actually done the work to get to that position. And I was like, cool. Like, I was suffering and it hurt, but I was like, I haven't felt this for a while, and it's kind of nice to feel, like I was bombing out, feel like I was gonna die. I didn't, obviously, but it's kind of nice to feel that. You got to learn to appreciate that kind of shit, because it means you get to be there, and it means you've worked hard enough to actually feel that. And it's important. I don't know, as an athlete, it is important to feel yourself at that point, so you know what it's like, so you know that you can actually push through. You know that, okay, no, I know what this feeling is like. I know what this feeling is, and I can push through it. Whereas if you're bonking or bombing for the first time, it's not a good feeling. Like, if you haven't felt that before, you're in for a fucking rough ride. If you've never felt what it's like to bonk or bomb, I like to say bombing because it's like I'm bombing out, man. I don't know why, but if you've never felt that before, then you're in for a rough surprise, because it's not a good feeling at all. It sucks. And you do think you're going to die. You're like, I don't think I can do this anymore. I think I'm just going to lie on the side of the road and go to sleep and wait till, someone picks me up. But you don't necessarily need to do that. You just need to hold on. You almost need to take a deep breath and shut those eyes and just keep rolling through. Because that's like, you can keep pushing. You just got to know that limit. And that's why it's good to hit that stuff in training. Like, it's good to experience that in training for things. Because if you were racing, if I was doing my Ironman and I felt bonking for the first time during my race, I'd give up, because I would think, that's it, there's no way I can finish, I'm fucking done. Whereas you can ride the wave. But yeah, it's what was I thinking of doing? That's right. So, change of subject here, complete change of subject. I was talking to Ben. So I recently did some designing for myself and made like a little clip template so I can post stuff to Instagram. I'm going to use my personal page to post for a bit, and then I'll use the podcast page, or maybe I'll use both. Maybe I'll post one a week, one clip per episode on my normal page, and then I'll try and post 3 to 4 on my, I'll do that podcast page. That way I don't flood my normal page, and I get a bit of growth in the other one. Anyway, I was talking to Ben. I sent him the template, and I was like, what do you think? And he was saying, he's like, I like it. It's really good. Laid out really well. Looks profesh. He's like, but what about the background picture? Would you consider changing that to be a bit more bright and sprightly? And I was like, never thought of that. Great idea. So I think I'm going to try and take a picture of myself sitting in the middle of a fucking road. So same concept of a road with like lines in the middle, but I'm going to use myself with a sunset in the background on a summer's day, doing like the yoga pose or something like that, doing a pose or something, maybe standing there, balancing along the line. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, I was like, great idea. And that is why you should ask people for their opinions, because sometimes you don't even think of things and they do. And like, it would have been easy for me to turn around and be like, man, fuck you. My design's awesome. Why don't you like it? But he did like it. I asked for his opinion and he gave me his opinion. And his opinion was good. Like, you need to, I don't know, you shouldn't be afraid to give your opinion because you think other people are going to not like it. If they don't like it, they asked you for your opinion. It's their fault, not yours. You're just giving your opinion. And you shouldn't take people's opinions negatively. Like, you ask them for it. What do you expect if they're going to give you another perspective, which is a good thing. I would never have guessed. I would never have thought to change the background picture, but he's right. It would look better if I changed it, and I'm at the point now where I can change it. But the template's cool. I'm so happy I did that myself. I was like, how do I do this? I have no idea what I'm doing. And then I somehow fumbled along and figured it out. And here we are now. Whoa. What else was I going to say? There was something at the tip of my tongue and it just disappeared. Far out, man. What was it? It was something that I did during the week. Oh, dude, I hate when this happens. And like, the worst part about it is, on a podcast, I can't fucking hide it. Like, you know that I'm struggling to find. You know that I'm stalling right now. You know that I'm stalling to try and figure out what I was talking about or what I was thinking, but I can't find it because it's gone. I've lost it in my brain. There's no pulling that back out. Oh, guess what? Your boy found it. So I was I've been trying to meditate and like just being present in the moment. I try and do it when I'm in the sauna, and I try and do it when I'm in the ice bath, and I try and do it in bed. Like I'll lie in bed it's risky in the morning, but I've done it in the morning a couple of times. Just lie in bed for 10 minutes in the morning and meditate and just try and be present without falling asleep, without dreaming, without letting my mind wander. And it's a tough fucking challenge. Like last night I was trying to do it. I was trying to do it before going to sleep last night. And it was wild because I kept counting to 10. I was like, just count to 10. And I would be like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I would be like, I'd stop myself in the middle of a fucking dream. And I'd be like, hang on. Did you get to 10? No. 1, 2, 3. And the same thing would happen. And it happened over and over again for fucking ages. Like I kept counting to 10, not making it to 10. I didn't make it to 10 once. And then I was asleep. But it's interesting. I just like how your mind wanders so much. And that's why our attention span sucks. Like what the person on Rogan's podcast was talking about is correct. Like our minds wander so much. We can't keep them focused. No wonder we can't focus if we allow them to wander all the time. You got to kind of train it to fucking stay focused on one thing and not wander around looking for a bunch of other things. So it's super cool. I'm going to keep trying to do that. I haven't done any yoga this week, which is bad. And I think I can feel it. Like my hips are tight. My back's a bit sore. Like I said, sitting in this chair is not super comfy. So I'm going to have to get back into that shit. But, baby steps. I've got to try and weave it in. I've been stretching in the sauna when I'm in there to pass the time. So maybe that's how it's going to have to go down from now for a little bit until I figure out how to weave it in. But yeah, happy days. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap this up. Got a bit of a sore voice. I'm a bit hungry, Did my training session this morning. Need some food. Went to the IGA in Warrandyte. They have a grouse vegan section for anyone who wants to go and check it out. Vegan Turkish delights. They are delicious. I bought them for, quote, me and Caitlin. And I was like, I'm just going to eat a few of them. And I think she's had one and I've had the rest. Because I'm going to go and eat the last one now once this finishes. So, yeah, treat yourself. Anyway, have a ripper day, guys. Get out there. Fucking get it done. The weather's fucking... Oh my gosh. I completely forgot. Yeah, I completely forgot to say this. When I was running this morning, I ran into some random ass dude. He was just running along the road too. And I was like, scared the shit out of him because I was catching up to him going up a hill. He's like, fucking hell. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, I thought you were something else. And I was like, no, it's just me. I was like, he must have thought I was a kangaroo. We were talking shit. His name was Andrew. He was a good dude. He's training to do the Surf Coast 100. He was just telling me how he got into running and stuff like that. And he was just saying he was planning to do 50Ks. So he was running up King Lake and doing a loop up there and then getting picked up. 5 hours of running. Lovely. I did just over 2. He would have another 3. Wild. But yeah, he was just saying that he's training for the Surf Coast 100. He, it all started by training to do a half marathon. Did a half marathon, then did a full marathon, and then joined a group, and then this was in Sydney, and then all of a sudden now he's part of a group that is called the Hundies or the Hundreds or something. Hasn't run 100 Ks yet, so now he's going to tick it off. And he was saying that it's been pushed back. It was meant to be in October, then they pushed it. It was meant to be September. Then they pushed it to October. Then they pushed it to December. And I was like, that would have sucked. Like for my event, they cancelled it and moved to the next year. So or at least I had a couple of months. Whereas pushing it back a month sucks if you're training for something that big because you've peaked. And then it's like, okay, well, I don't really have time to deload properly. So I'm going to half deload and then peak again. And it just fucks with you mentally. But it was so cool just to run into someone and just start talking shit. It was really good. And that's one thing I love about this kind of sport and this stuff. You meet so many cool people. And I think that's a beautiful way to end this podcast. I get to meet so many people. There are so many awesome people that I've come across just by doing what I'm doing. And I love it. And hopefully I can get a lot of those people on this podcast to do an interview. But we shall see. Anyway, that is all for today, guys. fuck, get out there, get it done, enjoy it. The days are longer now. The sun's out. Not today, but you know how it is. Get out there, enjoy it, and yeah, lots of love from me, your awesome co-host, Towing the Line. Enjoy this outro music, man. I hope you guys love it. I fucking love it. I love listening to it. Every time I hear it, I'm like, yeah, fucking jamming out to it. So, fuck yeah. Enjoy.